One of the best things about the IKEA PAX system is how customizable it is. And in today's video, I'm showing you exactly what that looks like. I'll be assembling the PAX shoe rack and installing a pull-out tray and shelf, so you can see how easily you can adjust and personalize your storage unit to suit your needs. I am in no way a DIY expert, so if I can do it, anyone can. If you are new here, then welcome. I'm Amy and I make honest fashion, beauty and handbag content for people who enjoy everyday luxury. Here you'll find honest reviews, style inspiration, and thoughtful lifestyle content focused on quiet luxury. So let's get into the video. So first of all, I am going to remove this tray out. So originally I did just use the tray to put the shoes on. I'm not actually sure why I got the tray and not actually one of the other shoe racks here, but I have purchased another shoe rack. So I'm going to be showing you how I build that as well. And then I'm going to swap that out with the shelf. So this shelf here, it does pull out and it is a soft close there. So it is the same as the pull out drawers here with the jewelry trays in. And I'm actually going to pop that underneath here. So IKEA PAX is very easy to customize, even when you've built it, if you want to swap things out. So I thought this would be an interesting video just to show you how easy that is to do. So that tray is going to fit in underneath here. So what I might need to do is just move these shelves down just so that fits in there perfectly. I'm then also going to take all the clothes out here. I do need to do a bit of a clear out, so I'm going to take those out and add in a tray because I am running out of room to put some more handbags. So I'm actually going to pop that on the shelf there. Now, this does have a hanger under there, as you can see, a rail just on the top there. I'm actually going to leave that in because you can't see it anyway when you're standing from here. You can't actually see it. So if I do decide to go back and put clothes in there at a later date, I then don't have to put it back in. So I'm just going to leave it in there. It's not going to make a difference if the shelf is underneath. So that's what we're going to do. So first of all, I'm going to start off with taking the shoes off there and then removing that shelf. Please excuse the dust as well. That's one thing to know. If you do have an IKEA PAX open system, everything in here does get extremely dusty. So you will need to be wiping down regularly to keep it nice and clean. I am also going to be replacing the lights in here. So these ones at the moment are the ones from IKEA and they are just the battery operated ones, but I actually want to install the actual IKEA PAX lighting. So I'm going to do a separate video on how I actually install that with the units already assembled, because normally what you would do is buy the lights and install them as you are putting the units together. But if you're like me and you actually installed the units without putting the lights in, then I'm going to show you how I actually put those in with the units already assembled. So that video will be coming soon. So this is the 75 centimeter shoe rack and it is the 2-tier one, and it is 75 centimeters in length and 58 centimeters in depth there. Now you can get these in shorter depth. So IKEA PAX do the units where it is shorter if you don't have the space, but mine are 58 centimeters. And again, yep, it is the 2-tier one. You can get the single tier shoe racks as well. And I don't think they pull out, but this is the 2-tier one and this actually pulls out. So I was actually quite lucky that the tray unit and where I want to put the shoe rack were the same size. So again, 75 centimeters in length. So let's open this up and start building. So this can be quite confusing to put together, but I find with IKEA, once you've built one, then it's a lot easier to build the rest. So what you want to do is you want to get your bracket out first, and you want to have this part here facing inwards. So this is going to be on the left-hand side there like that. And you want the 3 dots here to be at the back. And then you want to grab a screw here and your plastic, I'm not even sure what this is called, but this little plastic thing here. And then this here is going to go onto the wall that way. So you want to pop this screw through the third hole here. So it's going to go through the third hole. And then the plastic thing is going to go on the back like that. And then that is going to drill into the middle hole of the unit. Then once that one's in, you want to pop in the front one. So that will slide back through and you want to come to this end. Now on this end, you've got like 3 dots. So 1, 2, 3, and you want to put it on that first one there. So once you've got that first one, again, you want to grab a screw and the plastic thing there. And then that's going to go through there. So that'll go through that hole there. And then the plastic little thing will go on the back. I don't know what this is called, guys. I'm sorry, but I'm just going to keep calling it the plastic little thing. And that goes on the back like that. And then that goes into the first hole of the unit. So this is for the left-hand side. So once the brackets are in place, you want to pop on the covers over the top and you want to put this circular bit at the front so it goes in that way. So these bits go on the bottom, and then you also, before you actually screw these on, you want to attach these into here. So they just slot in there and you want to line it up with the hole and pop in some little screws. So once you've put both of those in, it will look like this. So I did the other side. So they'll be standing up that way. So they go on that way on top of the brackets there. And these are to put the shelves on. So we're going to attach the shelves to these once these are attached to the bracket. So next we're going to pop on the bottom tray, and that just rests on top of these little hooks here. So there's 4 hooks, and then this just goes over the top. Let me just see if I can do this one-handed. So this just goes over the top here like so, and it just rests on those little hooks there. And then what you want to do is get the screws, and then they screw into the holes there. Now, just be careful with these screws because these screws are tiny. Now, I've already lost this twice, so they're not very big at all. So just be very careful when you're actually screwing those in. And then the second shelf just goes on the top there. And then again, you want to screw that on. Now, I have just noticed underneath here, there is like a darker blue color. Like, I don't know if you can see that. I'm not actually sure what that is, but it's on that one and on that one. So it looks like they haven't sprayed it properly, or it's something, some colors transferred on it or something like that, but I'm not sure. I don't know if I'm going to take those back, or I might see if I can try and just top it up with some paint myself, just so I don't have to take it all apart and take it back in. But yeah, that's really annoying that that's happened. Okay, so you actually want to put the shelf on this way. I actually showed you the wrong way before. So on the top shelf, the taller bit there, the thicker flick that goes up there, that goes at the back, and then the shorter lip here goes at the front. But on the bottom shelf, the bigger one goes at the front and the smaller one at the back. And then all the screws are screwed in there. So we've got the front ones and the back ones. So these can be a little fiddly to get in, like I said before. And because mine's quite close to the other shelf, it was actually quite hard for me to get a screwdriver in. So I actually ended up doing a lot of it with my fingers and then just kind of tightening up a little bit with the screwdriver. So that is the shelf all built. So it just pull out nicely there and then back in. So now I'm going to put on the pull-out tray onto here. So this is going to fit just on here so it can pull out as the tray. So I'm actually going to move down the shelves as well, just 1 or 2, just to allow more space in between the bags. But these are a lot easier to put on than the actual shoe racks. So these are the brackets that we took off earlier, and they do just have hooks on the back here and they hook into the tray. And then you also have hooks on the front here and they hook into the front. And then you just have the 2 screws that go into the wall. So you've got one there and then one at the front. So again, that's super easy. So if yours doesn't have the white plastic cover on here, yours will just be the bracket like this. But if you do have the cover, then that just slips on over the top there. So yeah, like I said, a lot easier to install. So I'm going to pop that on now. So I'm not actually going to put jewelry trays in that tray. I'm actually going to pop this liner in here because I actually want to use it to put some purses and bag charms and things like that in there. So I bought this velvet liner. Now you can only get these for the 100 centimeter ones or the 50 centimeter ones. So if you do have the 75, then you want to buy the 100 centimeter one and then cut it down. So it has these lines on here so you can actually cut it to fit the size of your system. So I think you can use this for the 50 centimeter ones as well. So if you had sort of 2 50 centimeter ones, you could cut it in half. And if you also had like the shorter depth ones, you can find the right line for your actual system. So because I'm doing the 75 centimeter one, I'm going to cut down this line and then that will give me the perfect size. So the lines are on the back. If I turn that over, it is just plain on the back, so you don't see those lines. So no need to worry about that. That's not going to be on display. So let me cut that down and then I'll show you what it looks like inside. So the liner actually has these little rubber dots on the back as well. So when it's in the tray, it's not going to move around. So that's actually going to stick to the bottom. And then I just got the drawer dividers as well to pop in there. Because like I said, I do want to put in purses and bag charms and things like that. You can put anything in there. You can put sunglasses, belts, whatever you like, bag accessories, anything like that in there. And then you get the smaller ones and then you get the larger ones. So they just slot together in those little slots there and you can put whatever you like in there. And this is what it looks like when it's all put together. So you do have some larger slots at the back and then some smaller ones on the middle and front row. So these ones at the back here, they are a little bit longer. And then this row and this row are the same size. So if you do have some larger purses or anything like that, then you can pop those on there. If you prefer to have the longer bits at the front, you can just swap that around and pop the longer bits here. So again, just personal preference. It's very customizable as to how you want to use it. Now, I actually haven't had to move the shelves down in the end. It actually fits fine. So what I'll do is put the taller bags on this shelf and then the smaller ones on there. But I think that looks fine. I don't actually need to move those at all. So that saves a job, which is awesome. And then the final thing I would like to do is to pop the shelf in here. So I'm going to take all those clothes out and then pop the shelf on. And this is probably the easiest one to do. You just get the little shelf holders and they go into the side of the unit there, and then the shelf places on the top. So super simple to do, and that will be the last thing I will do today. And then there is the shelf in there. So it fits in there really well. So I'll be able to pop bags on the top shelf and on the bottom section there. And I did also fill in the holes over that side because I hadn't done those before. So I have gone ahead and filled those in because you will be able to see them now that the clothes aren't there. So yeah, that was super easy to put in there. And that's how I've been changing up my IKEA PAX closet. One of the best things about the PAX system is how flexible it is, and I love being able to update it as my needs change. Let me know in the comments how you'd customize your own PAX setup. I'd really like to know what you guys have been doing. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I would really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing and hit that like button if you did find this video helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.